Imagine trying to explain the hidden danger of ocean heat to someone who doesn't read scientific journals or follow climate models. The challenge is translating a complex chain, stored heat in the oceans, its release into the atmosphere, resulting extreme weather and the cascading health consequences, into something tangible and relatable. One of the most effective ways is through simple analogies paired with clear graphics, making invisible processes visible and emphasizing why they matter for human well-being. Think of the ocean as a giant, simmering pot of water. Over decades, it has been absorbing the planet's excess heat like a slow cooker. We don't always notice it because it doesn't immediately change the air we breathe, but the energy is accumulating. Occasionally, this pot releases bursts of heat into the atmosphere, much like steam escaping from a lid. That steam doesn't just disappear, it spreads over land, raising temperatures, increasing humidity, and creating conditions that challenge our bodies. A graphic showing a simmering pot with arrows rising as steam would immediately convey this invisible energy transfer, linking ocean warming to the air we experience on hot days. Another analogy frames the ocean as a bank of energy, like a savings account of heat. Over decades, we have been depositing energy through greenhouse gas emissions. Eventually, the ocean withdraws this energy in unpredictable bursts, and those withdrawals hit human systems like unexpected bills, sudden heat waves, intensified storms, and spikes in disease. A flowchart can illustrate this. Emissions, ocean heat storage, atmospheric warming, extreme events, health outcomes such as hospitalizations, waterborne illness, and malnutrition. By showing the sequence visually, people see the chain of cause and effect rather than isolated events. For more direct health connections, consider likening heat stress to overcharging a battery. Our bodies have limits for tolerating heat and humidity. Once exceeded, systems begin to fail, much like a battery overheating and shutting down. Graphics could depict a thermometer with a battery icon, showing how rising temperatures push human tolerance to critical points, triggering heat exhaustion, cardiovascular stress, or dehydration. Adding images of vulnerable populations, elderly individuals, outdoor workers, or children, reinforces that the risk is uneven, helping the public understand both the personal and societal stakes. Nutrition and food systems can be explained using a simple analogy of a refrigerator on a hot day. Ocean-driven heat waves are like turning up the heat around the fridge. Perishable foods spoil faster, crops fail, and fish migrate away, leaving shelves emptier. A visual showing a melting supply of staple foods, protein sources, and fresh produce makes the abstract idea of food insecurity concrete, highlighting why ocean warming is not just about the environment, but also what ends up on our plates. Waterborne diseases can be communicated with a splash diagram. Rising ocean temperatures, warmer coastal waters, proliferation of bacteria and algae, contaminated seafood, and drinking water, human illness. A simple illustration with colored arrows and icons of water, pathogens, and human figures can show this pathway quickly, making the link between ocean heat and disease tangible. Even children can grasp the concept if the graphic is intuitive and colorful. Mental health impacts are harder to depict, but simple analogies help. Ocean heat and resulting disasters are like repeated waves hitting a sandcastle. Each wave represents a heat wave, flood, or storm, eroding security, livelihood, and emotional well-being. A graphic of a sandcastle gradually crumbling under successive waves communicates cumulative stress, anxiety, and trauma, showing that the effects of ocean heat are not just physical, but psychological. Overall, the combination of storytelling, analogy, and clear visuals allows people to see the hidden connections between ocean warming and health. It transforms an abstract, global-scale process into daily, human-relevant consequences: heat in our cities, food on our tables, water in our taps, and the resilience of our bodies and communities. By making the invisible visible, these methods empower the public to understand, discuss, and respond to the growing health threats of ocean-driven climate change. The key warning is that these links are not theoretical, they are already unfolding. Without public understanding, adaptation measures, like preparing hospitals, securing nutrition, or protecting vulnerable populations, may lag behind the pace of environmental change. Simple analogies and graphics bridge that gap, translating complex science into actionable awareness, making the connection between the deep ocean and the human body clear, urgent, and impossible to ignore.